A new idea sits in a notebook while a calendar fills with meetings, emails, and endless busy work. The moment someone hears it, they say the real world will crush it, so nothing ships. That warning becomes a shield for hesitation, demanding certainty before any imperfect work appears. It also pushes people toward long plans, big budgets, and early hiring, even when proof is missing. When planning replaces doing, energy goes into documents and the product stays imaginary for months. The cost is lost momentum, rising stress, and a growing fear that the idea was never viable. A small team debates features, writes forecast, and waits for funding, while customers see nothing useful. Another team builds a simpler version, stays small, and learns by selling something real to real users. Next, the focus is on rejecting excuses, building less, launching sooner, protecting attention, and earning trust through teaching. This video is inspired by Rework by Jason Fried and David Heinemeier Hansson. Subscribe for lessons on launching sooner and building small teams. Long-range planning is mostly guessing because market conditions, customers, and competitors change outside anyone's control. Calling plans guesses loosen the grip of false certainty and keep decisions close to real information. When guesses become rigid plans, decisions follow old assumptions, and improvisation becomes harder. Short horizons reduce wasted effort because choices are made right before action instead of months ahead. People praise size as success, but the better question is what the right size feels like. Schools like Harvard University and the University of Oxford are not judged by endless expansion, and businesses do not need it either. Staying smaller preserves the ability to change course quickly, which is an advantage over slower competitors. Growth becomes optional, not automatic, because sustainable work matters more than ego-based expansion. Write down one business guess for the next week, then pick the single most important move and do it. If someone demands a 5-year blueprint, answer with the next small experiment that can be tested immediately. Constraints are advantages in disguise, as limited resources eliminate waste and encourage creative solutions. The mechanism is focus, since fewer people and fewer features direct attention to what truly matters. When teams add resources too early, products bloat, timelines expand, and decisions multiply into conflict. Keeping 1 or 2 people on a product and keeping features minimal prevents unnecessary complexity from taking over. A design firm with client work, a small team, and a time zone gap built a simple tool first. Those limits made it easier to reject extras and concentrate on the core job the tool had to do. Less mass also means avoiding long-term contracts, excess staff, and thick processes that make change expensive. This approach values speed and simplicity as durable advantages because they stay useful when trends change. Define the epicenter by asking what cannot be removed without destroying what is being sold. Then cut one feature, one meeting, or one purchase that distracts from that foundation and revisit later. Launching means releasing a product once it does what it needs to do, even if there are leftovers on the list. The mechanism is iteration, as real use reveals what truly matters and guides improvements better than speculation. A near deadline forces clarity, making luxuries obvious and necessities stand out as priorities. Waiting for perfect polish delays feedback, causing the team to debate instead of learning from outcomes. One software launch went live without billing because monthly cycles created a 30-day window to add it. A retailer opened a store before construction finished, and customers wrote messages asking to keep it that way. Early release is not low quality, it is a way to reach quality through repeated improvements. This keeps momentum high as progress becomes visible and decisions are based on reality instead of assumptions. Set a 2-week launch constraint, list the true necessities, and push every extra item into a later iteration. If launching early and iterating fast feels useful, subscribe for more tactics on cutting scope, shipping, and improving through feedback. Interruptions are the enemy of productivity because they fragment the day, preventing deep work. The process of mind-shifting due to repeated focus restarts wastes the time needed to reach an effective zone. Long stretches of uninterrupted time produce the most output because there are no constant interruptions. Meetings multiply this damage, as a 1-hour meeting with 10 people consumes 10 hours of productive time. A team can reserve half the day for silence, banning calls, emails, and meetings until the work is done. When a meeting is unavoidable, use a timer, a clear agenda, and a specific problem to keep it short. Reducing meetings keeps the organisation lean by preventing interruptions that can lead to office politics and thick processes. This supports a style where small teams can compete by doing, not by discussing abstractions for hours. Use passive tools like email that allow replies later and protect blocks of time that remain unbroken. Before scheduling any meeting, calculate the real hours consumed and decide if the trade is worth it. Marketing is not just a department. Every interaction with customers sends a signal about what the company stands for. The key mechanism is consistency, as emails, error messages, websites, and invoices all shape trust day after day. An engaged audience reduces reliance on paid reach, as people return on their own to hear what matters. Teaching creates loyalty that advertising cannot, as helpful lessons build respect and make customers patient with imperfect starts. One company grew to over 100,000 daily readers by sharing insights on design, business, and software. Instead of trying to outspend competitors, it focused on teaching openly, as competitors often stay secretive behind closed doors. This aligns with the broader approach of doing less and being clear, as the product and the message reinforce each other. When marketing is seen as the sum of actions, people focus on quality basics rather than flashy campaigns. Choose one channel to teach weekly, publish something useful, and keep the tone conversational and direct. Then treat every support reply and interface detail as marketing, as small signals accumulate into a strong reputation over time. The goal is not to build a fantasy company, but to create a real one that works. Begin by rejecting excuses and choosing small, practical steps that can be tested quickly. Plans should remain flexible, treated as guesses, and constraints can help reduce waste and keep the work simple. Launching earlier creates feedback loops, and iterations turn rough versions into products that people actually want. Protected attention reduces burnout, and fewer meetings allow for deeper output in the same amount of time. Teaching and consistent marketing build an audience, so growth comes from trust rather than expensive persuasion. Culture forms through repeated behaviour, so start by choosing one standard you will follow, even under pressure. Treat decisions as temporary, skip fake emergencies, and adjust when reality changes instead of freezing in fear. A small business built this way stays calm because it knows what matters and ignores what does not. If you want more principles for staying small, cutting noise, and building real momentum, subscribe for future breakdowns and practical routines.